Hey, welcome back to Bahal Recap. Today we're checking out the 2022 action thriller movie named Sea Mutant Snake. Get ready for mutant monsters, underwater chaos, and non-stop action. Let's jump right in. There was a wealthy businessman who hated snakes but had to see them daily. Because of a strange illness, he needed snake genes for treatment. These genes only existed in the most violent snakes. So, he hired scientists to run experiments. They created a giant, violent snake, but failed after nearly 80 gene extractions. Impatient, he ordered all snakes destroyed. The lab wiped clean, and all knowledgeable researchers killed. Then, the giant snake suddenly let out a deafening roar. Suddenly, every snake within 100 miles went wild, turning the lab into a bloodthirsty battleground. Panicked, the businessman fled, leaving 2 female bodyguards behind. Soon, both women were devoured by snakes. Even Young Ding, who escaped the island, wasn't so lucky. Years later, Special Agent Chin Yu began investigating the case. On a cruise ship, he found a surviving researcher with blonde hair. Just as he was about to ask what happened, the ship shook violently. The blonde man seized the chance to escape. Chin Yu moved to give chase but spotted a woman secretly filming him. This was Xiao Mei, a reporter also investigating the mystery. Meanwhile, terrifying events unfolded aboard the ship. Countless snakes swarmed the vessel. Even bathrooms in cabins crawled with venomous snakes. People panicked and scattered. Seeing this, Chin Yu grabbed a fire axe and led survivors in search of an exit. Suddenly, a giant python lunged out and grabbed a nearby couple. Along the way, Chin Yu noticed the python was blind. He led everyone to the engine room, hoping to use heat and noise to hide from the snake. As it slithered farther away, they felt relieved, until Xiao Mei's phone rang. The sound attracted the python's attention, and it quickly approached them. After twists and turns, they found temporary safety inside a freezer room. But outside, a huge snake guarded the door, and they faced freezing temperatures near minus 30 degrees. Then, Xiao Shuai was bitten by a venomous snake. Realizing there was no cure, he opened the freezer door to distract the giant snake, buying the others a chance to escape. They made their way to the ship's bridge. Using her simulated driving skills, Xiao Mei managed to start the ship. Just as they breathed a sigh of relief, thinking they were escaping the snake nest, the cruise ship suddenly rocked violently. Looking out, they saw something slipping past the window. Chin Yu and a muscular man went outside to inspect. Slowly, a flare rose into the sky. Then, an enormous, terrifying python appeared. This creature looks like a snake, but isn't. It's a man-made, violent, giant python, so ferocious that even the star rainbow snake next door would freeze in its tracks. Unfortunately, this time, it targeted a cruise ship. In a panic, they dropped the lifeboats and evacuated passengers. But someone stayed behind to cover the retreat. The python grabbed a gasoline can and doused the ship's cabin. Facing the massive power of the beast, time was running out. Just as the python was about to split the ship in two, a flare tore through the night, setting the ship ablaze. Watching the cruise burn as it sank, those on the lifeboats were devastated. But to everyone's shock, the giant snake surfaced and climbed onto the lifeboat. They all made it to an uncharted island, but trouble wasn't over. Almost immediately, several henchmen and a mysterious figure were swallowed by the island's deadly swarm. Afraid to linger, the group pushed deeper inland. Unexpectedly, they found an old abandoned tent filled with weapons and a radio. No signal, though. Armed to the teeth, they headed for higher ground with the radio to call for help. But when they reached a forest, disaster struck. A henchman drinking water looked up, eyes widening in terror. When the group turned around, they were met with a chilling sight that made their skin crawl. Amid the chaos, the old man was pierced by a spider while protecting the little girl. Near death, he pulled the grenade pin and exploded it, scaring the spiders away. There was no time to grieve. The group pressed on toward the mountaintop. Upon arrival, Chin Yu found a bunker. During the night, Chin Yu woke to find the giant cat missing. He moved deeper into the bunker and saw a massive figure in the fog. The creature locked its gaze on him. Astonishingly, the giant beast survived the explosion. Chin Yu hurried back and told the group the giant snake was here. After discussion, Chin Yu decided to use the copper kettle on the island to kill it. Everything was set the next day. But then Huan Mao suddenly betrayed them. He revealed the giant snake was his creation, his masterpiece. And he wouldn't let anyone leave. The cruiser ship's course had been secretly altered to lead them to the snake's territory. Before he could finish, Huan Mao died by his own slip. Chin Yu lured the giant snake onto a cliff and, at the crucial moment, speared a tree at the top. The beast fell off, badly wounded. The smell of blood drew many snakes, which quickly tore the giant snake apart. The group waited for the rescue ship to arrive.